Flamingos are basically born as sad, grey pigeons and then eat themselves into being fabulous. No, really, if you put a baby flamingo next to an adult, you'd think one of them forgot to unlock the premium skin. The secret? Carotenoids, pigments in shrimp and algae that stain their feathers like a permanent Cheeto dust makeover. So every bite is like, ah yes, a little more pink please. Stop eating the good stuff, and they fade back to basic. Which means flamingos aren't naturally pink, they're just aggressively committed to their diet. Imagine if eating carrots turned you orange. Oh wait, it actually does. Flamingos are basically the ultimate glow-up story, except instead of skincare routines, it's shrimp. When flamingos hatch, they are not the fabulous bubblegum pink icons you see on lawn ornaments, they're grey, like a pigeon that hasn't discovered confidence yet. The transformation happens because of something called carotenoids, which are pigments found in algae and tiny crustaceans like shrimp. These pigments are red-orange, and flamingos consume a lot of them, like an aggressively committed seafood diet. Once inside the body, their digestive system breaks down these pigments and deposits them into their feathers, skin, and even their beaks. Think of it like nature's version of food dye, except instead of coloring frosting, it's coloring an entire bird. If a flamingo stops eating carotenoid-rich food, it will slowly fade back toward grey, like a fashion icon losing their sponsorship deals. So yes, flamingos are living proof that "you are what you eat" is not just a motivational poster, it's a full-on biological makeover powered by shrimp cocktails. Here's the wild part. Flamingos don't just absorb shrimp color like a sponge, they chemically remix it like tiny feathered chemists. When they eat carotenoid-rich foods, those pigments go through the digestive system and get sent to the liver, which is basically running a pigment conversion factory. The liver transforms these carotenoids into specific pigments that are then transported through the bloodstream to growing feathers. So every time a flamingo molts and grows new feathers, it's basically repainting itself with shrimp-based ink. Imagine if every haircut you got came out tinted based on your diet. Eat carrots, boom, orange hair, eat kale, congratulations, you look like a salad. This biological processing is why flamingos can achieve such vibrant shades of pink, from soft pastel to neon flamingo sign pink, depending on how carotenoid-rich their diet is. So, under the hood, flamingos are less like birds and more like walking, honking juice cleanses with legs. Flamingos are not just pink for fun, they are aggressively advertising. In flamingo society, being bright pink is basically the equivalent of showing up in a luxury car wearing a perfectly tailored suit that says, "I eat well and my liver is thriving." The deeper and more vibrant the pink, the more carotenoids the bird has consumed, which signals that it's good at finding food and is generally healthy. And in the dating world, that matters. When flamingos choose mates, they are drawn to the most vividly colored individuals, because bright pink equals strong genes and solid survival skills. It's like a biological resume, but instead of listing skills, your entire body just screams, "I have eaten so many shrimp." Some studies have even shown flamingos intensify their coloration during mating season by preening more, spreading those pigments evenly across their feathers like applying a fresh coat of paint before a big date. So yes, flamingos are out here turning their lunch into a dating strategy, which honestly raises the bar for everyone else. If flamingos are what they eat, then their entire face is basically a shrimp harvesting machine. Their beaks are bizarrely shaped, kind of like they were designed upside down on purpose, and that's exactly what makes them so effective. Flamingos feed by dipping their heads upside down into the water and sweeping their beaks back and forth like a living vacuum cleaner. Inside the beak are comb-like structures called lamellae that act like a sieve, trapping tiny organisms like brine, shrimp, and algae while letting water flow out. Their tongue even helps pump water through, which means they're actively filtering their meals in real time. Imagine trying to eat soup by filtering out only the noodles with your teeth. That's basically what flamingos are doing, but with way more elegance. This highly specialized feeding system allows them to consume massive amounts of carotenoid-rich food, fueling their pink coloration. So every time you see a flamingo standing in water, just know it's not relaxing. It's running an industrial-scale shrimp filtration plant. Here's a slightly awkward truth. If you put a flamingo on a bland diet, it will literally lose its pinkness and turn pale, like it just heard bad news at brunch. In the wild, flamingos constantly consume carotenoid-rich food, but in captivity, those exact food sources aren't always available. So zookeepers have to step in and basically say, "We need to keep this bird fabulous," and they add carotenoid supplements to the flamingo's diet. Without these supplements, flamingos would fade toward grey or white over time, which is not the brand they're going for. It's like if you stopped watering a plant and it slowly lost its color, except the plant is a 6-foot-tall bird judging you silently. This also proves that flamingos don't naturally generate pink pigment, they rely entirely on their diet. So their iconic look is not just genetics, it's maintenance. They are, quite literally, curated by shrimp. And if that doesn't make you rethink your own diet choices, nothing will.